The world of Amaranth is vast. Thousands of miles of explored and unexplored land and ocean. Not all of it just on the surface. Not so long ago, hope was a distant dream. Undead ran wild, and the gods were nowhere to be seen. For over 1,000 years, the world fought tooth and nail to survive. The entire continent of Embry, home to Ceres and the Tridonian Islands, burned. Yet just over 100 years ago, the gods returned in a maelstrom of magic and divine power, cleansing the world of necromancers and their ilk, restoring Amaranth to a semblance of peace after millennia of strife. The gods, having returned, strove to embolden those mortals of Anth to sing their names in prayer once again. Yet progress was slow. Thousands of years of the silence destroyed the trust mankind had in the deities. Despite the empirical evidence, they were back and prepared to aid them. In this strife and discomfort, malcontentment was bred, and it opened the door for more vengeful creatures to stride through it. The Demon King Nagora, a colossal and vengeful draconic demon that led a vast cult in an effort to subjugate the people of Anth. Once again, Amaranth knew loss, and now the world is, once again, tending to its wounds and trying to heal. It is the Fourth Age, the year 6073, in the era of the Return. And while all of these old stories could be retold countless times in various voices and humors, we simply do not have time for that. Amaranth has always been a dark place, but it is not a place without life. It is a place forged under two suns, Pyrrhus and Tyrrhus, dancing in their endless binary orbit above the world. And when Pyrrhus blazes white and Tyrrhus glimmers blue beside it, the shadows are never far behind. Far across the world from Embry's old battlefields lies the continent of Ishi, and on it the diverse country of Aurelia. Mountains guard its spine, deep forests and taiga claw at its edges, wetlands and tundra break into endless plains, and where the plains finally die, the desert begins. The golden wastes, where the sun splits stone and stories outlive the people who tell them. There, carried by two rivers known as the Twin Forks, flows a single lifeline deep into the sand, a sprawling channel called the Reach. And where the Reach runs out into the dunes, a city of crimson stone stands alone. Redreach, where tonight's story begins. When you all arrive, the day is turning. Pyrrhus low in the sky, Tyrrhus just behind it like a ghost flame. Redreach rises from the gold dust like a promise and a threat. Sandstone walls catch the last white blaze and blue glimmer, making the city glow like an ember on the edge of the wastes. The Reach splits and winds through the streets, water lined with trade barges, washed robes, children playing in its shallows. Cloth canopies stretch between squat buildings dyed in bright colors that fade beneath the dust. And prayer flags flap at shrine doors, and the smell of river silt mixes with cooking fires and crushed spice. People watch you. Travelers always draw eyes, but the shape of you four together makes the stares stick. You find shelter in a tavern near the Reach, an old stone rest stop painted with the sigil of a broad-fanged, eight-legged wolf. A Sishan, they call it. A trained desert predator, dangerous unless you know their language and their hunger. Same could be said of Redreach itself. Inside the sassy Sishan, laughter and stories flow easier than ale. Its walls are strung with painted hides and big iron sleigh harnesses, some so old they still smell faintly of dust, fur, and oil. You gather at a low table. Plates of honeyed goat, saffron rice, and flatbread come cheap. Company is free but fleeting. Your conversations drift from the road behind you to what you might find here in Redreach. You do not yet know each other well, but in the desert, a caravan's bonds form fast. Eventually, when you step back out, the sky is a deep indigo. The sun's already vanished behind the dunes, but their afterglow still burns the horizon pale and blue. A hush has settled over the city, as if the stone is listening for something old. At the river's edge, you hear the first whispers. A market boy tugs his mother's sleeve. A man sweeping sand off the steps mutters under his breath, "She's back. The silver flame. They found him posed like the old tales." A breeze off the reach carries it down the alleyways. By the time you reach the bend near your rented rooms from the tavern, the rumors have outrun you. And that's when the sentinels find you. They come out of the shadows, 4 of them in mismatched scale and desert cloth, breastplates stamped with the old crest of the river quarter. Spears and short blades catch the blue sheen of Tyrus, just on the horizon. No fanfare, no questions. A voice like dry stone says, "You 4! Hands where we can see them!" You're disarmed before you can protest. Rough rope binds your wrists. You're marched through the quiet streets while cats skitter off the walls and old men watch through cracked shutters. A child tosses a dried fig at your boots and whispers, "She always comes back when strangers arrive." They bring you below an old guardhouse, under the sandstone, where the walls sweat from the water table beneath the reach. The cell is a square room, stone benches, a flickering oil lamp, a trickle of cool river water running down one corner. It stinks of old stories and older fear. Let me go ahead and change the scene for you. After a long while, the door to the cell opens. A broad-shouldered man enters, not armored like the sentinels, indeed wearing a breastplate, but wrapped in a faded desert cloak with a copper badge pinned at the collar. A human. Salt of the earth. Dust still clings to his boots. His face is sun-creased and his eyes have the weight of a man who's carried too many secrets in a city that eats them for sport. And this is what he looks like. You can mouse over the tokens to get a larger image of the art in the bottom left corner of your screen.
Neat.
He sets a folded cloth on the table in front of the cell. Neat and careful. He unwraps it. A curved silver blade, faintly stinged. A handful of old desert coins with flame sigils that are dulled with age. A strip of red silk charred at one edge. And he studies each of you in turn. No sign he cares what you say, just what you look like. Someone's dead. Merchantman, good at hoarding water. Not so good at staying alive. Throat slit. Posed like a shrine idol. No prince, no struggle. And one old fool says he saw 4 outlanders slip by the shrine just before dusk. He sets his rough hands on the table, looking at each of you. I don't care where you come from. You're in my city now, my reach. So before I decide which of you goes into the dunes on your back, let's see what kind of tale you have to tell. And he eyes the Drider first. He stays just out of reach, not because he's afraid, but because he knows better. You! Who are you? Pen, please introduce your character and what they are.
All right. The rest of you look over when she is addressed, and she is a very dense woman. When I say dense, she is muscular. She is not a stranger to hard work. She is clearly a lover of food. Well built, thick arms, round, kind face, skin that is very used to sun, and wild brown curls. And then you see that whole body is on top of a massive spider. Her torso and head are attached to a very fuzzy spider body, and she is huge. She is in this space with everybody, and it looks like she's trying to make herself look as small as possible, which is very difficult when she stands 12 feet tall, relaxed. But she's doing that little spider thing where her body is pressed to the ground as close as she can get, and her little legs are pulled up tight. So she's as small. So she's probably only 8 feet tall now instead of 12. And when she's addressed, she startles and looks at the man with clear terror, and she just says, "Um, wait, what am I supposed to say?"
Who are you? State your name.
Oh, I'm Birdie. I mean, it's a nickname my parents called me and my sibling.
He starts like
I'm
rolling
known
his hand like hurried up.
legally it's Bernadette Dudes. I'm from Halfholm.
You stand out like a
Is-
bonfire in a dry field.
I don't mean to.
Well, folk remember you. Big smile, big heart, they say. Helped an old man carry his grain sack at the market. I like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Problem is, when something ugly happens near the Reach, people don't remember good deeds. They remember the biggest thing they saw. And he just kind of raises his eyebrows at you. No,
Sorry.
no prints in the sand, but a drider moves different, doesn't she? Hard to tell your tracks from the old cracks in the street.
Maybe I've not thought about that.
Did you wander where you shouldn't? Did you see something you didn't know was worth running from?
I don't know.
Okay, he's insight checking you, but I think he's going to just get panic. So do me a favor.
She is near tears.
Yeah, roll me a persuasion check, I guess. Just to see how close to blathering you are, I suppose.
Oh no, she's inconsolable.
You're a mess. Okay.
Snotty, wet.
This captain like looks at the drider and just, oy, he then shifts to the drow. Dark elf, state your name. Raven, would you mind explaining your character?
As all the players look over, you see kind of like a uninterested elf just looking at her nails, like wondering when this is all gonna just be over. And she has a darker kind of blue-haired cloak on with lighter like blue kind of like pearlescent hair and darker blue skin. And she kind of scoffs at him at first. She's like, what is it that you need to know? Like my name, where I'm from? That's a very open-ended question.
Just state your name.
Oh, okay. My name's Selfie. Do you need like the full legal name or is that suffice?
That'll do for the diviners. Now, I don't know your deal, but folk in Redreach don't care about old grudges. But they notice what doesn't belong. Undertow is a long way off. Not much reason for your kind to be scraping around our river channels. Unless you've gone local, or you're a true dark dweller. I've got a witness says they saw a shadow near the shrine at dawn. Skin like obsidian under the shrine lanterns. Maybe they're half blind, maybe not. Why'd you come here?
I mean, can't a girl just want to sightsee around a new place? The darkness kind of gets a bit boring.
I don't buy it. Who paid your fare to
Oh.
wander so far east? Or did you just drift down the reach like flotsam hoping no one would find?
If you really want to know, I'm trying to find someone, but I don't see how that's any of your business.
He, looks down at the note. Would someone happen to be a man named Almas Kefir?
It's a woman. I don't really swing that way towards men.
He just, like, narrows his eyes at you. And then he turns and he, like, tilts this oil lamp a little bit closer, looking down at the halfling. Right. You. Small man, big fists. State your name.
In contrast to Bernadette, Jomo, the 2.5-foot halfling, is trying to make himself look as big as possible, puffing out his chest. You may call me Jomo. And I assert that I have not killed anyone today.
Yeah, I've heard your name. So has half the town. The River Quarter barkeep says you spent half the night jawing about how you could break any nose in town.
I can.
Well, you've got the look of a sellsword who'd take a coin for a messy job. Or start one just to see who'd swing back. Anything to say about that, big man?
No, that's me.
The captain, like, pinches the bridge of his nose, reaches down onto the table, and he holds up a coin from the cloth. It has a flame sigil on it, and it looks very old, but also like it's been polished, so a lot of the features are slightly worn away. These were left on the dead man's mouth. Meant something. So here's my question. Did you do the cutting, or just the smashing? Or are you just the loudest drunk in the wrong alley?
I did neither.
Roll a persuasion check? Or a deception check in case you did get in a bar fight. I'm going to let you decide that now. Okay.
Not last night.
Okay. The captain scoffs, and then finally, his eyes fall on the tabaxi. It almost feels like a gag that you're thrown in here. All these curious, sticky paws, right? State your name.
I apologize. I want to say I'm not gonna do a voice. I'm
You
playing
don't
a
have
female
to.
character.
That's fine.
Okay. My name. So, I guess panning over to Vera, she's gonna have both of her arms crossed in kind of a pout, tapping her foot, and she'll say, "To Vera, and that's all you'll get from me. We both know how this goes, lawman."
Are you a traitor? A scavenger?
I came here for the same reason that everybody who ends up here comes here. I came here to make my fortune, and on my very first day, I'm thrown in jail.
Aye. You
Feels
smell
like some stereotyping.
Maybe, but you do smell like someone who knows where the locks are weak and the walls are thin. And he taps the blade on the table. It was a clean cut with no sign of a struggle. No forced door. Either they knew the killer, or the killer was good enough to slip in and out like smoke. And he just looks at you. What were you hunting that close to the shrine?
I'm going to produce a. Would I know what kind of shrine he's talking about? It's a religious shrine.
No idea, honestly. You honestly would have no fucking clue.
Okay. Can I roll? I have a collection of holy symbols on my character.
Oh God.
Okay.
Can
You're banging this.
Can I just take a guess and produce a symbol of a god?
Sure. Which god? Does it matter? Like you pick one or you grab one?
I'm gonna say. Is there a religion that worships the two suns?
There is a religion of each individual sun.
All right, I'll produce one of Tiras.
Okay. The evil
That's
one.
the good one.
Damn it! Okay, yeah.
It's okay.
Sure.
You pull out a symbol of the blue sun, the blue dragon winding around a sphere. And as you show that, the captain just looks at you with narrowed eyes. What's that for?
I am making a pilgrimage to ease my burden of the heart.
Roll
Oh,
a
boy.
deception check.
Yeah, all right. do. Where's my button? That's a crit fail.
That is a critical failure. The captain looks at you, and he like narrows his eyes. Except, roll me an insight check.
Sweet. My passive insight's pretty high,
Sure.
but I'll roll one. It's actually worse than my passive insight.
You get the impression that you have just convinced this captain that you're an idiot.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. I'd rather be an idiot than a criminal.
The captain like puts the blade back down and resumes like rubbing at the bridge of his nose and his temple. Okay. I don't care about the old tales. I care about bodies in the dirt and coin where it shouldn't be. Somewhere out there thinks if they make enough noise, we'll hang it on the first outlanders that look odd enough. And he glances at the sentinel by the door, which is really the first time you've like seen her addressed. Her arms are folded as she leans against the wall. I'm not here to make you a legend. I'm here to keep the Reach from running red again. So if none of you did it, you're going to find the one who did. Otherwise, you are a neat answer I don't mind feeding to the dunes. You're a neat answer I don't mind providing to the coasters. Get some air. You leave town, you wish you hadn't. Trying here will keep your leash tight. And the captain approaches that sentinel, and you all hear him pretty loudly say, you're their chain. You keep them from running. You keep them from dying stupid. And then Dunny looks at all of you and leaves the cell.
Well, that was a huge waste of time for us.
I don't know what's happening.
Are you okay, girl? Like, I think you need a
No,
tissue.
I'm in jail.
Oh,
I've never done anything wrong in my life.
Oh, there. She slightly like pats your shoulder with her like fingertips.
There. The
How do
sentinel,
we get out of this?
the sentinel leaning against the wall, like shoves off of it. She flicks her eyes over the four of you, a Drider, a Drow, a Halfling, and a Tabaxi, and snorts, seemingly unimpressed. Look at you lot! Should charge the city for a traveling menagerie. All right. Rules are simple. You run, I bring you back. You lie, I find out the hard way. If you think you can slip the leash, remember this. I'm too old to chase, so I've got a bowstring that doesn't care. You want to clear your names? Good. We'll see if there's a killer worth burying instead of you. Looks like you all just got recruited for the investigation. Can't think of a better goal than to save your own hide. Stay close. Speak straight. Don't make me dig your graves. The coasters want a body buried. Quiets the panic. You fit the bill until you don't. Your personal effects
Well-
are upstairs.
I guess we better get going then.
Chomo starts stomping upstairs.
Stomping. You know, I usually work for money, but I guess since my life is on the line,
Is the cost
I'll
not high
cooperate.
enough? I'm sure we can find something to sweeten the deal. And she draws the string back just a little bit.
Oh, we can find your killer. It's no problem. We don't need another body, another dirt, right?
One should hope not. And she relaxes, letting the bow loosen.
Do you have my spoons upstairs?
I don't care. All of your stuff is collected on the desk.
Because those are heirlooms, you know. I got those from my mother.
Right. Why don't you go get him?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll. Are we physically on a leash? Like very, very literally on a leash?
No.
Or is it more of a metaphor?
It's a metaphor. You can move about. You're not like chained. The cell has been left open, and it seems as though this sentinel is assigned to follow you around and make sure you don't run.
Okay. Did she introduce herself?
No.
Okay, I'm going to ask her name. And by chance, who is it that is our, and I'll do air quotes, leash during the course of this investigation?
Sergeant Soren Dren. At your service. Just call me Dren.
Sure, I'll give her a side eye as I walk past up the stairs after Jomo.
Do you do anything
wait for me.
suspicious?
What?
Do you do anything suspicious? Do you like size her up? Do you see what she's carrying, or do you just go upstairs?
I think Tavira would be anxious to get her hands back on her equipment.
Yeah, you can go upstairs and get your stuff.
I think beyond giving her like a stank eye, she would just march by.
She seems unfazed. As you all do go upstairs, and you find that there is a front desk area where this concierge has your things sorted by, well, not to be racist about it, but by race. You see, the Drider's pack is enormous, though so is the halflings, oddly enough, with handles of hand axes sticking out of it and all sorts of odd angles. All of you can gather your things. And as you're heading up, yep, go ahead.
Jomo hops up on the desk and checks his backpack, makes sure nothing's missing.
Same.
Roll investigation.
I need my spoons. Do I have to do that too?
I'm not good at these.
You appear to be pretty good at them.
Yeah, you got it.
With a natural 20, everything is accounted for. No one has altered your things. With a 9, Birdie, there's a mint in your pack that you don't remember was there.
Excuse me, where's my crock pot?
The concierge, who is this little halfling blonde woman, looks and she says, "What's a crock pot?"
You know, for slow cooking.
I didn't touch it. If it's not in there, I don't know.
Oh, no.
I rolled a 17 as I inspect my items.
All of your stuff seems to be there. Nothing appears to be missing.
Oh, I found it. It was under my blanket.
Oh, good. She looks like she had no idea what to do about it if it wasn't there.
It makes a big difference, for stews.
I will, as soon as I acquire my pack, I'm going to rifle through it and start inserting daggers into small holsters, laden through my robes, and then very anxiously, as if it were a great soother to my mind, grab hold of my gear jack and fiddle with it.
Okay.
Something to calm me down.
Yeah. Nothing has been tampered with. All of your gear appears to be there. And Dren comes up the stairs behind you and shuts the door. Got all your shit?
Oh, yes.
Good. We have a crime scene to get to, so whenever you're ready.
Oh.
I, for one, am very interested in seeing the body. You can tell a lot
there's
about
going to be a body?
Don't worry, girl. It won't be too gruesome.
It will not? What happened? How did they
Yeah.
die?
You'll see soon enough.
I presume
Oh.
with that silver dagger downstairs. Stabby, stabby.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You guys.
Oh, okay. When Birdie puts all of her stuff on, her pack, she drapes a whole string of pots and pans and ladles and things like that across her back, and when she moves, every step, every 8-legged step is just clang, click, clang, clang, click, clang.
Jomo also has a lot of jangling chains and flasks.
Goodness gracious.
We're a very subtle team.
Yeah.
On the opposite, I'm sneaking past, barely making any noise.
I think I'm gonna join you in that. Yeah, just very quiet. The two polar opposites.
Yeah. Following you, the sentinel, Dren, basically says, "Oh, I have no trouble finding you two." We move scenes as you leave the constabulary out onto the streets of Redreach, heading down alleyway and streetway towards the Reach, the river that runs down the middle of Redreach itself. As you're heading that way, Dren is kind of like guiding you. Now there is a chance some of you might have been to Redreach before. It's a slim one, but I'd like each of you to roll me a D100.
I got a 50.
You have not.
14.
You definitely have not.
46.
You also have not. And okay, so none of you have been to Redreach before. Fantastic. It doesn't really affect anything, but it is clear, like as Dren is following you, she says, "Man, you don't know which way north is, do you?"
I know which way north is.
Sorry, directions are a little bit different when it's so bright out, so it's not my fault.
It's 11 at night.
It's
You
too
don't
bright.
know what nighttime looks like for me.
So relatable.
Drowser used to advanced darkness.
Okay. Follow this street. We have to get to the river. You can at least listen to sound, right?
Maybe.
Jomo has ears.
Jomo does have ears. Dude.
Does Jomo have cauliflower ear, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, man. Ouch.
Yeah, okay. You guys follow the directions that Dren not so patiently provides you until finally you arrive at a dried out communal fountain just near the Reach. There is market stalls in the area that like they're empty. No one is in them at the moment. You see that there's lots of cracked tiles on the ground that are disused. This entire section seems to be just, well, out of repair. This section of the city is pretty untouched. And you see that there is a man posed, sitting cross-legged in the dry basin. There is a jug spilled to the side and old coins in a ring around the body. Posed around the body, it is clear, even from here as you're approaching from behind him, his throat was cut as his head is tilted way too far.
Oh. Oh, ew.
Well, this is interesting scene.
Yeah.
Tavira's gonna pull a pair of like spectacles out of one of her kits and put them on and then lean very closely into the incision
Ugh.
on the man and just kind of squint at it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's dead. He's definitely dead.
Really?
good
You want
eye.
to poke him, see if he moves?
I'll poke him, yeah. Does he move?
Shifts a little, like, from the pressure of the poke, but it's a dead body.
No, he's definitely dead. Yeah, murdered for sure. I don't see someone doing this to themselves.
Yeah, why would anyone do that to themselves?
You would
I
be
don't-
surprised.
Lost a bet, maybe? I don't know.
What a horrible world we live in.
It's not all bad.
You
Just
here to
mostly.
investigate or just come up with shit?
I don't know how to.
Can
He
I
looks
roll
dead to me.
investigation for the area around?
Yeah, you
The
can.
body?
You can just roll a general investigation, sure.
Can I assist?
Yeah, you can do that
15.
with advantage. In fact,
With advantage? Okay.
You're being aided.
15's still the higher one.
Okay. Are you proficient in investigation?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
There's +1 on it.
Sure. You look around. You see that the spilled jug contained water. There's still a little bit in the jug. There is some broken pottery from the jug where it looks like it was cast to the side, just kind of spread her out on the ground. You see that there is a veil scrap, a red one, tucked into the palm of the dead body. You didn't notice that immediately on your approach. You do see that the ring of coins around this posed body, each one is flame etched, just the same as the ones the angry guy had shown you. You do note that you don't really see any footprints, but that doesn't really mean anything. The sand could have been blown away by the wind, as it is fairly windy today. That is what your investigation tells you, which is not a whole lot.
Can I make a history check on the flame-etched coins?
Sure.
Is this like the standard currency?
No, it is not. Go ahead and you look at like a coin from your own pocket, and it does not match at all. Go ahead and roll a history check to see if you know anything about them.
I want to open the man's hand and take out the red cloak with, like, I have thieves' tools, so I imagine some type of like thing to just pick it up without my bare hands.
Yeah, there's like tweezers that you normally use to
yeah.
apply pressure to a lock. You can use. Firstly, that 18 on a history check. These coins they're old. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you know the whole story behind them, but you do know that they are not typical currency. You're not entirely sure where they first originated from, but you haven't seen a coin like this in a long time. And you've only ever seen them coming from this area. So they're from here, they're old, and there's something weird about them that they're not typical currency.
I sense cult behavior. Anyways.
Cult behavior, okay.
What's up with the veil scrap?
So
And
as
with
you
the red
pluck
cloak?
you pluck the scrap of veil from this guy's palm. It is silk. It's very high quality, like, material. It is torn and slightly burned on an edge of it, and it is red. The piece that you tear out is pretty small. It's maybe like the length of your forearm and half the width.
Definitely seems like some ancient cult behavior. No person who's going around killing random people is going to be wearing something this expensive. Unless this was a kill for hire.
Can I look and see if there are any footprints or tracks?
You can roll survival.
How many people were there? I rolled a 22.
Wow.
A 22. It's weird that there's no tracks here. You actually don't even see the tracks from your own approach. The cobblestones that are cracked and broken are hard enough, and the wind has been powerful enough that any sand has been blown away, so it's basically impossible to track anyone's footprints here.
Oh no, this is why I prefer dirt floors.
Can I go up to Soren?
Yep.
And okay, so I approach Soren with I've collected one of these coins to inspect, and I bring it to her. And Soren, have you ever seen this currency before? Have there been any other ritualistic murders like this in the past in this area?
She looks at the coin, and when you mention ritualistic murder, she kind of furrows her brow. Old Tale says something about the silver flame. But that would be bullshit to connect to here.
What?
It's
Do you think it's a red herring? Like this was simply a murder of a water merchant, and they're trying to disguise it in myth and legend to throw us off.
could be. The old tale says the Silver Flame once found a bastard who hoarded water in a drought, tore open storehouses, poured it all back into the sand, and forced him to drink from the river. Never said anything about her slitting his throat, though. That's new.
As soon as she mentions, my ears are gonna perk up. Can I inspect the sand and see if any of it is moistened? Like it was purposely the water was poured out.
Roll investigation.
See how similar. It's a 22.
22. Yeah, near the cobblestones, near the body. You notice a distinct lack of sand between the cobblestones where it looks like fresh water had washed it away.
I'm gonna point this out to her. You mean pouring out just like that spot there? It seems whoever did this, if it is a ruse, is very familiar with this legend.
She frowns. She looks at the way the body is posed and what you're pointing out. It seems in poor taste.
Could I cast level 1 detect magic on the area?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
As you cast Detect Magic, you see a couple things. You see the magical items that are on your party's persons, basically. You also see that there is this small shrine, shrine's the wrong word. The fountain has an old magical spell on it that you can tell with Detect Magic that it's deteriorating. It is an evocation spell. You don't know exactly what it did, but it is old.
So there's no magic on the sand or anything?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna take the piece of red cloth and tuck it into my pouch. And I have a guess that maybe whoever did this had magic to not leave any traces. And
Leave no trace.
yeah, I wanted to say that I didn't want to use my bot knowledge.
Sure, yeah.
So we're dealing with someone who can use magic.
Dren is looking between all of you. Do you think it was one person or multiple?
Well, I think they could belong to an organization, but I feel like if it was multiple people, more would have been done here than just... What, it was just a single slash wound through the neck?
Soren shrugs. Look.
Is there no blood, by the way?
It is clear that this victim's neck was slit here. Blood is running down their chest and around their knees and on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, if this was a random group attack by, let's say, a bunch of angry drunks or a gang or whatever, why would there only really be that wound on him? And again, it seems ritualistic, so I think we're dealing with someone who's trying to send a message.
Jomo, what are you doing in this moment, out of curiosity?
If anyone looks at Jomo to contribute, he's gonna set his backpack down, pull out a drum, and start a drum circle.
Okay. Are you communing with anything? What is this? I'm interested. What are you doing over there?
I'm setting the mood.
Oh, thank you.
Wow, some music for his passing on. That's nice.
What is this? Some weird Southerner funeral rite?
Just an investigation beat.
Of course. Okay. Or Dren like looks at the halfling for a long moment and then turns back towards the body and she says, "Right, so ritualistic. What else?" Seeming to have dismissed a drum
You know,
circle.
having been in many street fights and bar fights, this seems far too coordinated for it to be like a random attack. Certainly, if you slay a man in the streets, you wouldn't take the time to dress it up, such as they have.
He
When-
deserved it, I tell you. Behind
Who is
Hello?
behind Dren, you see there is an old man who is like amongst the marketing stalls, and he has the whole look of someone who's been like hiding and waiting to see what's happening, and it seems as though he's just gotten up the mustard to say, "That man, almost Kether, he deserved what came to him, I tell you."
The drums have attracted a witness. Jomo wins.
Oh my god.
Maybe it was the drums. Who knows?
Oh, so he knew this man. I'm gonna approach him. What do you mean he deserved it?
Last year, almost Kether. You've heard the name, haven't you?
I've heard it twice now.
He ran the water merchants off the reach, out to the irrigation fields to the west. And he would hike prices something fierce during the last drought.
Something of a wicked man.
Oh, he deserved what came to him. Not saying I done it, but if I coulda, I woulda. And Soren's like, "Right, okay. Keep Fletcher, keep moving. If you didn't see anything worthwhile, I didn't see nothing, just what shoulda happened, in my humble opinion."
I like this guy.
And why do you think this man deserved what he got? Or did you see anyone give him what he deserved?
Sure didn't. I was making dinner for the family out on the outskirts. But I come into town and I see the old rake on Miss Kether dead by the reach. You better believe I'm celebrating for the rest of the evening.
Well, enjoy yourself.
And was there anyone else that you think might have shared your feelings towards this individual?
Every farmer west of the reach.
Yeah, I mean, hoarding water in a desert's a good way to get people to hate you.
It's true.
Kind of leaves us with a large suspect list. But we can see if any of the farmers are very familiar with this legend that is being reenacted.
Or
What?
if any of them like wearing red cloaks?
Yeah.
What legend?
I don't know if I want to tell this guy anything.
Maybe
I don't
he did
try-
it.
Yeah, I don't trust him. It's just some random
Okay,
farmer.
Is there any
man.
blood on this man?
no. He looks covered in dust.
What does he smell like?
He smells like sweat and old tobacco.
That's awesome.
He's very like this. You don't think he has, like, his hands are so arthritic. You don't think he has the motor function to cut somebody's throat this clean.
Also, to lay out these coins so nicely in the circle.
Probably not. Probably not. He looks like
Hunched
80
over
years
old
old.
guy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. At least, the lifespans out here in the Reach are pretty good. especially for a farmer.
Nothing like good living and fresh tobacco.
Hey, do you have any extra tobacco, actually?
You buying?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Hey, I'll toss him a...
bowl of pipe weed, just gonna ring you 2 gold. Which,
wow!
that's insane amount. That is, that's way too much.
I'm being swindled here. His name... No, he wasn't Helmut.
Oh man, what do you need all that gold for?
I
You
got
need
a family to feed. I mean, y'all don't know the quality of this old tobacco growing out in the wilds.
Can I
Golden waste.
Can I inspect the tobacco? Is it nice?
It's fine. Like, it's a little dry. It's not impressive.
Can I persuade him to try to lower his price?
Thank you.
You, how? What do you say?
14. Okay, 14 plus 4, so 18.
Okay.
You know, we have lungs to fill. Like, you have a family to feed, and you wouldn't want to overcharge another tobacco lover, would you? Since you're such a good man yourself.
Well, I haven't heard too many bad things about dark elves, so when you put it like that, maybe a gold.
Fine. I'll give him a gold. Whatever. Whatever, dude.
He gives you a pipe's worth of tobacco.
Do I have a pipe? Can I buy your pipe, sir?
Yep, back to 2 gold.
2 gold for just the pipe?
Yeah.
All right, how about this? No, I have nothing to trade. I should have done what Jumo did. Just loaded my
buy a
inventory.
pipe somewhere else.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you for the tobacco. I wish
welcome.
you and your family 1,000 blessings. You better be on your way, though. It's getting pretty late, old man.
I'm
dangerous out here.
I'm getting my evening drink at the Sassy Seashore. I'll maybe see y'all there. And the old man slowly, kind of waddles his way up the street away from this crime scene. And you come out of the interaction 1 gold down and a handful of tobacco richer.
I'll look at Soren, kind of dejected.
She looks tired.
I'm sure. All right, Soren.
You can share Jomo's pipe. It's okay.
Oh my god, thank you. I gotta get my thinker working.
Do you smoke tobacco?
I do when I'm investigating.
With our drum circle?
Does Jumo offer the pipe to me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna nod and graciously accept it and pop it right into my mouth and stuff it with tobacco.
Okay. Smoking tobacco, for the next hour, you have advantage on wisdom saves.
Incredible.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm putting that
Always
in my...
worth to do drugs.
We love nicotine.
Yep.
In this household.
The soothing, almost calming effect of the tobacco is not super helpful, but it does at least help steady your mind as you concentrate on this crime scene where somebody is dead.
Okay. I'll pass it to Jumo since he's sharing his pipe with me. Give him a little tobacco as well. Okay. Let me review. We could ask around at the tavern about Halmos Kether. Or is it Almos or Halmos?
Almos. A-L-M-O-S.
It kind of sounded like he made some enemies with the farmers to the west.
Farmers do need water to do their jobs.
That's true. I feel like we need another thread to pull here. We're still very...
No one is questioning that Amos Kether was an immoral man, but he was still murdered. We have to deal with the man willing to kill this person.
Okay.
Do you have any good libraries in this town? Anything that have records of organizations that use magic and wore red cloaks?
We have the Shrine of Echoed Names, the archive in town center.
Shrine of Echoed Names. What's a good lead?
We could go check that out. We could also listen for some information at a tavern. People like to talk when they're drunk.
People like
It's
to
true,
talk when
but-
they're not, too, if you have the right words to ask. Sorry, I didn't mean to put a whole anchor on your train of thought there.
Well,
Oh.
I'm just saying, people will brag with influence.
Really quick, how far away did we have to walk to get here?
It was about a 15-minute walk.
Okay. Did Soren happen to grab the silver dagger, the murder weapon? Because I think having that is probably a good idea.
No, she did not.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna
I'm
bring
sorry.
this up.
I forgot to mention. All of you began this adventure with 1 point of inspiration. And you can use inspiration to change the narrative in a slight way. So in this example, if you wanted to say that Soren did grab the murder weapon, you could spend an inspiration to say that she did. But you don't have to, obviously.
I'm gonna hold on to mine.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important, but I don't know if it's like make it or break it important.
Sure, you could always just go get it if you
Sure.
wanted to.
Yeah.
Really quick. Is anyone else on the street, or is it like kind of people are staying away? Like, are there sentinels kind of blocking the area?
There
they can't
is
be
a
random
sentinel
old man.
that's kind of like guard. So there are sentinels at periodic junctions throughout Redreach. This particular section, it seems as though at the time of night the streets are not very busy regardless. So the presence of Dren seems to be enough to keep townsfolk out of this particular spot. But there's no there's nothing like cordoned off. There's no barriers or sentinels guarding the area in specific.
Right.
You suspect the constabulary does not have the manpower, which is probably why you're doing this investigation in the first place.
Well, it seems like we have two ideas on what to do. Do we want to go to a tavern or the Shrine of Echoed Names?
I think
Um,
it's the middle of the night, right? Tavern's probably best.
That's true.
That's true. We can always go to the shrine in the morning if we find nothing at the tavern.
The archivist is there all night. It doesn't matter which way.
Oh, well,
Oh, really quick, Soren, what time was his body discovered?
9 o'clock. Dusk.
Okay, so very recently. You said it was about 11 when we left the jail, the constabulary.
Approximately, yeah.
Okay, 2 hours. So he was murdered in plain sight. No witnesses. No trail.
No apparent witnesses.
Yeah.
It does seem to you a little unlikely that from where you're standing looking at this body, like the street that leads up to the main street is just off to your right. So it's not likely that nobody saw what happened, but no one is coming out that they saw what happened.
Especially in front of a shrine. Like, there are generally people around those.
I misspoke. It's not a shrine. It's like an old communal fountain.
The fountain.
Okay. Does seem a little fishy.
Maybe we should go to the tavern and see if anyone wants to talk about what they saw today.
I'm on board with that.
As you consider heading towards the tavern, one moment. So, you've kind of unilaterally decided you're going to go back towards the Sassy Sishan, the tavern in the center of town. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yes.
I don't know if it was
I vote
unilateral.
that.
Okay. If anybody's doing anything else, speak now.
Well, no, I just feel like we voted on
Okay.
it.
Anyway, you all make your way back up towards the Sassy Sishan. The town of Redreach is remarkably... It seems like there's still some bustle, even though it's late at night. Not tons of it, but people going about their business from shop to building to the tavern itself. A few horses and camels still out on the cobbled streets at night. And as you all enter the tavern, we're going to shift the scene to the generic tavern scene.
He's handsome.
I'm sure he appreciates your comment. As you all enter the Sassy Seashon, the first thing you notice is it's busy as hell. It is so much more busy than it was when you were last in here. And Birdie, as you you're following the party in, you get the reactions that, you're kind of familiar with. A young barback nearly drops a tray of steaming tea, and you just hear him say, "By the dunes, do you see that?" And then next to him, "I saw a scorpion bigger than my fist once, but never ate legs that big." Lots of reactions.
She just shrinks down as much as she can.
"Mama, she's got more feet than a Seashon." And you hear, "No, she doesn't. It's exactly the same." And then you all see the tavern owner that you've all seen before, this kind of barrel-bellied man with sweat-darkened sleeves, looks beyond you all at the sentinel. "Sentinel Dren, trouble tonight." And then next to him, you hear, "When the sentinels drag the blade out, it's never good." And then another one says, "She's got her bow tonight. It's never a good news." And you get the feeling Sentinel Dren is well known in Redreach. But above all of that, you hear, "I heard she left him with his throat open, just like the old stories. Don't talk like that in here, it's bad luck. The flame never comes for no reason, always someone new to blame. Keep your tongue. You say Silver Flame walks too loud, and they'll pin the next body on you."
Can I sneak over there? So I end up next to them, but they don't notice at first.
Roll stealth.
Ooh.
That is exactly the situation where
No.
you would stealth.
3 + 9.
So a 12, okay.
Or no, I already added my modifier.
So 9.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's not talk about it.
Sure. You basically, you start sneaking, and you're confident that none of them are paying attention to you. And then as you get over by the table, it's weird that their conversation has dried up. They're not really talking. And then one guy looks at you and says, "Can I help you?"
Is there room at their table to sit down?
Sure. Yeah, you can slide a chair over.
I'm gonna slide a chair over, Just plot down with the utmost confidence, be like, "So, I heard you were whispering over here about some things."
On the far side of the table, you hear, "Outlanders, always Outlanders." Then to your this big burly dwarven fellow sitting next to you says, "Where are we? Is that any business of yours?"
No, but the people that aren't outsiders here kind of dragged me into this mess of an investigation, so I'm doing the good deed of trying to solve crime in your neighborhood.
"Is that hardly our problem?"
Not really, but it sounds like you might have some information that would help.
"I don't know shit."
Really, you weren't talking about some sacred flame, her who killed him and slit his throat? You didn't see anything?
It's old stories, you numpet.
Right. But,
You would
old
know
stories
in
can
world.
resurface.
You know in world that a numpet is a foolish child.
Oh.
How dare.
Yep.
So
How
very
dare.
nice.
You can. So if you're trying to basically like get information from these peasants, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
Alright, I'm not using this dice because it's being cursed right now.
Okay. Well, you're doing that. Birdie, you are attracting attention.
Yeah.
There's a lot of children
19.
in the tavern that are 19.
Yeah.
Okay, hold that thought. There's a lot of children in the tavern that are like, looking up at you. What's your passive perception?
It is an 18.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
She's a druid.
You catch sight of a child who has a red, like, scarf-like veil wrapped around her neck and over her head. And she has a little wooden sword, and she looks up at you, and she just goes, "Back, monster! Rah!" And she points the sword at you.
She says what?
Back, monster, rah.
Oh.
And then she immediately is scooped up by this older woman who says, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. She didn't mean that. She just did. Oh my goodness." And she like carries the child way over.
She's very cute. Very cute child you have there.
Well, that happens. You are called a monster by a child. Sorry.
Yep.
Roll a history.
Who?
You.
Oh.
You.
Ah. Okay. 15.
The little wooden sword that little girl was carrying was shaped a lot like the murder weapon.
Dun, dun, dun.
And she was wearing red, right?
And she was wearing a
She was wearing red.
scarf.
The child.
Was there missing fabric from that? Just curious.
No, it looked like a complete one.
Oh.
It would like a tear that big would have been super obvious, but that's not the case.
Birdie looks over at Jobo and she like stoops down to whisper in his ear, but she can't get low enough.
All the way over, huge spider legs curling in.
Jomo,
Yeah.
that little girl had don't think this is crazy, but she had a sword that looked just like the weapon. Maybe her parents know something about the stories?
Should I take her down?
No. What? No, I thought
Yes.
maybe we could talk to them.
Destroy the child.
Please don't suplex that child.
Oh, I have an idea. I could turn smaller and listen to everybody talking. Maybe they wouldn't notice me.
If you can get smaller, that might be a wise idea.
Yeah. Yes, I should not do it in the tavern, so
Yeah,
they don't
changing
see it.
shape in front of everyone sounds.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
A lot
y'all
of
are
fun.
weird enough as it is.
If I go out into the alley, can someone carry me back in?
How small are you gonna get? I'll do it, but
Portable, like maybe a mouse.
okay, yeah, sure. A cat carrying a mouse. How poetic.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
said it.
go outside.
Birdie tries to leave the tavern as inconspicuously as possible, and she knocks over a table
Oh wow.
and a couple chairs. Because she has so many legs to keep track of.
Okay.
I guess to distract from her exit, Jomo will jump on a table and offer to fight anyone that thinks they're bigger than me.
Oh,
Wow.
gee.
Wow,
That
okay.
is a good distraction.
I'm just looking in horror from the table that I sat down at and just thinking to myself, what did I get myself into?
So, okay. So in this moment, Birdie leaves the tavern. Jomo jumps up on a table to distract everyone. Oh my god. Here's what would happen.
Tavera's coming out with Birdie, I'm assuming.
Yes, I'll follow you up.
Okay, so Jomo, you immediately hear, "Get the fuck down!" as Soren, like, reaches up. How much do you weigh, Jomo?
With the full plate, probably like 200.
200?
but
How
dense.
heavy? How? Whoa. You're 2
Yeah.
foot something. Are you also,
Yeah, but he's
like,
full of
5 foot
muscle.
wide? Like,
I
okay.
got muscle density.
All right.
Oh my god.
Sure.
It's like lead.
Soren, like, tries to pull you off the table, and she says, "Get the fuck down. We're not starting a fight." And as that's happening, meanwhile, Meanwhile, at the table of dwarves, you have attempted to persuade them to tell you, like, more about the stories or what's going on, if they've seen anything.
If they saw in the stories, whatever they want to say, just spill.
Just spill. Tell you something. B words. All right. Your persuasion was a 19. So the dwarf next to you, like, is looking at you, and he says, "You're really not from around here, are you?"
No, spent a lot of my life in the darkness, and I'm trying to sightsee a little bit, gain some culture.
Oh,
Not everyone's quite nice where I'm from, so
how's the desert treating you so far?
it's really hot down here, but it's not the worst. I enjoy the barren landscape and the bright sun.
The dwarf, like, is looking at you with a raised eyebrow, and he says, "Sure you are." Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it might be killing me.
Okay. All this talk and all these stories that you're trying to hear about, they're all town legends. The Silver Flame, the Red Ragged Rock, all of it's just old tales from long ago, back in Redreach's first founding. It's all just old folk tale. Doesn't matter. It's like a cow's opinion.
Sometimes a cow's opinion can even be important.
No, it's always moo.
Wow.
Thank you all for playing
I,
with me. I'll see myself out.
Wow.
I crack a
Shame.
laugh. I'm like, "You're funny. How about I buy you a round of drinks and you tell me about your town's legends? At least so I can get to know a bit more about this place."
You had us at a round of drinks, eh? And, like, the rest of the table just is like, "Yeah, all right, for sure." Okay, so to buy a round of ale for the table is going to be 2 gold.
Okay, I can
Cheaper
afford
than the
that.
tobacco, dude.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
fucking swindled, homie.
Everything is horrible.
That old man literally was like, "This idiot has no idea." Absolutely, 2 gold, give me. Like,
I respect the hustle, honestly.
Yeah.
Good for him.
anyway,
Okay,
as you're buying a round of drinks, Jomo jumps on a table and challenges the tavern to a fight. Jomo, what exactly do you say?
I'll fight anybody in here that thinks they're bigger than me.
It's a lot of people. That's like most people.
That's most of the
Yeah,
tavern.
even that child
Maybe-
that you threatened to take down is probably bigger than you.
I'll fight that kid.
As soon
It's like
as you
If-
finish
if
saying
he-
that,
If he wants to fight.
as soon as you finish saying that, Dren says, "Anyone who starts a fight is going to have to answer to me."
It's no fun.
Buzzkill.
Are you paying for the damage to the tavern?
I was gonna move the tables out of the way.
Get down.
It's like a proper. Make like a ring. Can we bet on the fight?
There's no room in this tavern. It's full of people. Get off the table.
Dejected, he climbs down.
Aw.
Trend does not seem sympathetic at all. Not even a little bit. As you are... Okay, so Tavira, you are outside, and you have gathered up a mouse that is Birdie.
I haven't changed yet.
Oh, okay. In the moment that
Excuse
you're
me, sir.
changing, okay, fuck me, right? So you immediately see a sentinel, a younger one, who's wearing like lighter leather armor, is running up to the tavern as quick as they can. So Tavira and Birdie, you both see this. When this sentinel sees you, the giant fucking drider outside, and sees you, Tavira, he runs up and he says, "Fuck, is Sergeant Dren in there?"
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Good. And he like runs into the door.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
That's weird.
Everyone inside hears Dren, and this runner like has blasted in, and Jomo like he almost trips over you. There's been another murder.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Dren like stops stops looking annoyed at Jomo, and then turns to the runner and says, "Where?" And the runner's like still trying to catch his breath, but eventually he manages to say, "The old stone warehouse, Bridgers, by the old dockside. A trader." And like is still trying to catch his breath, and then Dren looks down at you, Jomo, and says, "Well, y'all are off the hook for that one, at least. But it's still our investigation." Birdie and Tavira, I'm going to say you, as you're like right outside the door, you heard that.
Oh, I guess I don't need to do this then.
At the table of dwarves and other townsfolk, Selfie, they begin to tell you, the Silver Flame was an old legend out here in Redreach. Naja, the Silver Flame. Her stories are all... And he like clearly has had too much to drink. Are all at the shrine of echoed names. So we've all heard them ever since we were kids. They're, town hero. They say she came from the wastes, saved all of us from drought, hunger, starvation, took care of the vile, evil people that were oppressing some of us, and always a blade of fairness and justice in the world. And then one day she just goes out into a desert storm and no one ever sees her again.
I got a drink for myself, so I'm looking a little tipsy right now because I gotta join them in their fun.
Sure.
So you're saying that this was a nice, pretty lady who helped you guys.
Oh, of legends. Legendary pretty, yes. There's an old painting of her up in the archive.
Well, this is sounding like it'll be much more of a fun investigation than I thought.
And then suddenly, over like this conversation, you hear, "Dark Elf!
What?
Come on! We have to move now!"
Oh, they're calling my name. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen.
My name, Dark Elf.
That's
nice
how
to
it
buy the
goes.
chair.
Okay, roll me a con save.
You got this.
No one ever say I have this. It was I have a +2 modifier on my con saved, and I got a 5, so it's 7.
You're drunk. The round, it turns out, was this potent like desert mead, and it was delicious, but burned a lot. And now you are aware that the world is a little topsy-turvy. You're a little drunk. You're beyond buzzed. So, as soon as you're approaching, Dren looks at you and she says, "You're kidding."
I'm not kidding you at all. Whatever do you mean?
Great. Can one of you manage her? And she begins leading the way up the road, back along the river. You
I
guys...
thought that was your job, Dren.
What? You thought what?
Managing all of us. I thought that was your job.
I'm here to make sure you don't run away.
She doesn't look like she's running.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, I can run, and I start trying
No.
to like jog a little bit, and then I trip over my own foot.
Selfie, would you like a ride? I could carry you.
Woo! That would be so much fun. I've always wanted to try riding someone like that.
Oh. Oh. Um
That's not how I'm.
Birdie lowers herself to the ground so you can climb aboard.
Yippee!
Stands back up, trudges along.
As you okay, so like as you're like getting ready to leave, a family is like leaving, and Birdie, like as you pick up Selfie, a child looks up and says, "Do you think you could carry my house?"
Oh, I could try.
Wow. And then like the mom just like picks up the kid's hand and just drags her along.
Let's go before more children talk about how big I am.
I agree. Tren like leads the way. You guys are heading back up into town, out towards the next crime scene. It seems.
The stone warehouse.
The runner is like trying to follow, but it's clear running all this way has completely winded him. Eventually, he does catch his breath as you're making way. When he does, he says, "It's the Bridger warehouse. Down by the river docks. It's used to be a big trade section. It's pretty gruesome."
Oh no, is it like the last one where they cut his neck?
Uh-huh. But
No.
you'll see.
Dren, should we also be running? I feel like time is of the essence.
Dren looks at you. I said I don't like to run.
Okay.
It's not going to get any deader.
That's true.
Dren just marches the way all the way to the warehouse. You see that when you finally arrive, there is this old warehouse that looks like that has not been used for wares in a long time. It's dusty. There are spider webs in the corners. There's a long, like, rafter that runs all the way down the middle of the warehouse, supporting the ceiling. And while the warehouse itself is stone, it looks like the roof is actually thatch. From the beam, bound with iron shackles, is a man. Throat is cut, feet barely touching the sand. You see that underneath him is an old bell.
What? Is he standing on it?
It's like his feet are like it's like propped up under his feet. So he's like leaning against it. He's not actually standing on it. He's hanging from the beam.
Can I smell him? I know that might seem kind of weird,
That is a little.
but I mean more specifically, can I try to discern if there is a scent that isn't his attached to him from the people who murdered him?
Roll perception.
Okay. I'm doing that at advantage, yes?
I guess.
For my tobacco smoking?
Wisdom saving throws, not wisdom checks.
Wisdom save. Okay, got it.
But I like where you're at. I like you remembering the weird little
That's
buffs.
a 9.
So this guy smells very potently of spices. Like it's almost overwhelming. You smell like rosemary, you smell saffron, you smell garlic, you smell onion. It's really potent. So much so that you can't really smell anything else. Even the blood scent is kind of covered, even though it's draped from his throat.
So
I'm going to recoil and kind of wave my hand in front of my face.
What's wrong?
Very pungent odor.
Damn.
Are there any tracks this time?
Roll
Because it's
survival.
a dirt floor. Hell yeah. Selfie, do you want to get down, or are you still feeling dizzy?
Can I roll for how
Roll another
drunk
con
I
save.
can really?
It's been about a 20-minute walk, and you've been out in the fresh air.
A 5.
You,
Oh, Jesus.
the mead
Cannot
was
hold her
potent
liquor.
stuff. Yeah. You're a little bit less drunk, but you are still very much inebriated at the moment.
I'm gonna kind of just like slowly, like kind of slide down and plop on the ground and stumble to my feet.
Oh, yes, you look much better.
With your okay, so even though you're drunk, you are proficient in religion, I believe. I don't want to assume anything here. No, you're not. Never mind. Haha.
No,
You don't know
I'm
fucking anything. Never mind.
Yeah. Expect so much from me.
It happens.
I rolled a 17 on my survival check.
There are a lot of footprints, but also there is like a mark on the floor. This bell was brought in here. You can actually trace the trail it made from the large double doors. The bell was recently carried into here.
Is there a silver dagger here? Because they left one at the other murder.
Roll investigation.
Oh boy.
Jomo, out of curiosity, what are you up to?
The drums are back out.
Oh, nice. 23.
Yeah,
Are you drumming?
I'm drumming. You guys are doing great with the investigation.
Jomo, as you begin to drum, you make eye contact with an individual in the corner of the warehouse.
Good job, Jomo.
I lock eyes.
You see there is a halfling boy hiding in the corner of the warehouse who looks terrified.
Do I think if I just keep drumming, he'll come to me?
Maybe that's how people work. I don't know. Roll performance? Roll performance to lure?
To lure.
It's like the Pied Piper. That's pretty
yeah.
good.
18. In this weird, macabre, like, very vulgar setting, you're playing the drums, and you play them in such a way that somehow this boy seems to manage to steal himself. And after, like, this investigation is happening, Tavira is, like, looking around. Firstly, Tavira, you do notice a couple things. The bell has a symbol on it. It's an old burned-in symbol that looks almost like a candle flame. The shackles look ancient. And also, the bell is broken. You think it's from, like, a shrine, based on its shape. Roll me religion, Tavira?
It's going to be a 6.
Okay. Don't worry about it. You don't know what this symbol is for. Wait a minute.
can't
Wait a
match
minute.
it
Wait
to
a
any
minute.
of the
I was about to
symbols in her
say,
pocket?
you have a bunch of religious symbols in your pocket.
Yeah,
Do you have all of them or just many of them?
I have many of them. It's,
So there's 44 of them, aren't there?
oh my god.
There are 44 gods in the pantheon. Yes.
I don't think I'm going to have all 44.
I don't think so either.
Like levels of neurotic that I am not approaching yet. I would say I have, let's say 6.
6.
And one of them is Pyrrhus.
Yeah, we've got that.
That's
Okay,
pretty
so 5 out of 43. What are the odds of that? Let's find out. Okay, roll me a
A D44.
Yeah, dude, D44.
sure. Roll r/d44 in the or slash
It's
r
slash R.
space d44. Let's see if you happen to have this symbol in your pack.
35.
35.
Do you think? No,
Good number.
you
It's a
do
solid
not.
number.
You do
It's a
not have.
respectable number.
Yeah, it's just much too high. Unfortunately, no, you do not have the symbol that matches this one. You don't recognize it. It is a circular symbol with like a candle flame on it. You don't know exactly which one that is.
Does any of us know?
Roll religion if you want.
Sure.
Should
I know
roll with
Dorn.
disadvantage or just
So
regular?
you can. So because you are a cleric, you can roll a straight roll.
Okay. Huzzah.
Oh, Bertie, you know who this is.
You said religion, right?
Yep.
Let me do math.
We love math.
Mess.
An unnatural 22.
Okay. Bertie and Selfie, you are aware that this is a symbol of Ana, the goddess of flame and purification.
Yeah, that tracks.
Very hardcore religion.
There is a temple to Ana in this city. You would know that, Selfie, just from picking that up.
Well, looks like whoever did this might be local and might practice at the temple that they have here. She's kind of slurring her words because she's like kind of drunk.
Still
The-
loaded.
You all suddenly hear this child that Jomo has noticed say, "They were wearing a robe, and they were limping."
Oh, there's a fucking child here.
Something. Noted.
A robe, you say? What was the color? And she turns towards the kid.
I don't know. It was dark.
It was dark, and I kind of sloppily pull the piece of fabric out of my pouch. Did it kind of look like this?
Don't know. It was dark.
Little boy, where are your parents?
I don't have any.
Oh shit.
Tavir's gonna get
Can
on
we
her
keep them?
one knee and
Mascot.
Okay.
try.
Hold
try
on. Hold on. Sorry. Tavira, start over. I didn't hear the first part.
Tavir's gonna get on one knee, and after hearing that he has no parents, classic rogue stereotype. I don't have any parents
Oh
either.
yeah.
I'm gonna get down on my knee
Ha-ha.
and hold my paw out, my hand, my cat hand, and gesture to the boy and say, "Hey, it's okay. No one's gonna hurt you here. Are you wounded?"
No. They didn't see me. I was asleep, and then I woke up to gagging.
Ugh.
She's gonna pull out of her pack some extra like nice clothing. Like, does the boy have like? Does he have like a blanket? Like he's just sleeping on hay.
Yeah, he's
Or, like,
sleeping on the
stone?
old rotten hay that's in the corner of this warehouse. He's wearing like robes that look like they're secondhand. The robes actually have a stitched-on sigil of the Temple of Ana, so it's likely these robes came from the temple in town. Perhaps as a charity case, or perhaps he stole them, or perhaps he's an acolyte. You're not sure which.
Well, I don't know about the Temple of Ana, but I know that this is a little urchin boy, and I'm gonna offer him my like nicer, warmer clothing.
He looks at them, and then he looks up at you. What do you want for them?
A promise.
He like furrows his brow. His eyes are still wide. It's clear that there's a lot of adrenaline pumping through this little guy, but he like waits to see what you say.
How close is he to me?
He's a halfling boy, so he's like 1.5 feet tall.
No, how what's the distance? Can I touch him?
Yeah, you can touch him.
Okay, well, I see the fear and like the I can just like see his heart racing. I'm gonna gently like push his hair like out of his face and like try to comfort him. But I offer a promise in trade. a promise that no matter what, you'll find a way, you'll do what you have to do to get yourself out of this situation. You promise me that if I give you these, you will succeed. You'll get better. You'll find a home, or you'll take one.
Promise.
I kind of ruffle his hair. I'm gonna hand him this set of fine clothing that is probably way too big for him, but I'm sure it's much better than what he's got going on.
Yeah, he takes them, and he like looks around at all of you, and he runs.
All right,
Oh,
good luck, little
oh.
guy.
Could have given him some food if he'd held still long enough.
He made me a promise. He's gonna get his own food.
He's like, how old was he?
You think maybe 13, 12 or 13.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, okay. I hope he does okay.
The kid will survive.
Cool. And as soon as he's gone, I'm focused. I'm locked back in. Right. There's a few key details that he mentioned for us. We gotta look for someone who's limping,
True.
and I still don't know about the temple. So
The Temple of
That's-
Ana.
yeah, I have no clue
We
about
could
that.
go there
No.
and see if there's someone limping.
Yeah, if someone worships there, then they could maybe stay at a residence near it or even live in the temple, which means they might go back there if they're hurt.
If you want, Talira, now that you've, I'm sorry,
Tavira.
Jesus Christ, Tavira, as you have heard the name of the god in question is Ana, you can roll another religion check to see if you remember anything about her.
All right.
And that's the
Try.
case for anybody who wants to.
11.
11.
Oh no.
Ana is often favored by healers and physicers. She's generally neutral. Not good nor evil, but she is generally always about doing what is important to oneself. Law or chaos be damned.
Okay, can I use my Tinker's tools to kind of fabricate a small religious symbol of the candle?
Yes, you can do that.
What should I just roll a Tinker's tools?
Yeah, it would just be a Tinker Tools check, dexterity plus proficiency, because you're proficient in them. And material, you can find a piece of wood around the warehouse. That'll be fine.
Okay, I rolled a 14.
You make a holy symbol of Ana.
Okay, I will add that to my collection.
While you're doing that, it's clear Dren was like talking to the runner, and she is looking at the victim. I know who this guy is. He's come up before. His name's Delaro Ven, a spice trader. The only reason I know about him is there's rumors that he traffics people from the eastern trade routes.
Oh, that's horrible.
That mother.
Human trafficker.
It makes me feel like we have a mimic. The silver flame bullshit they were talking about in the tavern. This one's filth. The old story says she found a slaver caravan, freed the chained and melted their manacles down to cast a bell for the shrine. That bell was supposed to ring every time someone lied about buying people. Guess they didn't think of just stringing up the slaver next to it.
I don't want to make this sound weird, Duran, but I feel like these people deserve what they're getting.
It's not for us to decide. There's a murderer on the loose.
Well, I mean, maybe you took an oath as a law enforcement person, but I am a cook.
Right, you're a
Incredible.
cook.
Yes.
Yet, if we can't find this murderer, you guys all still have your names in the hat for the first murder. You're still on the block.
But you it's not us, right? Like, you know that.
I don't know shit. Not until we find
Actually,
the real culprit.
Dren, can you do me a favor?
She
Small
looks
one.
annoyed.
Small favor.
one.
I'm
Um,
following orders. What do you want?
Yeah, you know your runner pal here, who we haven't been introduced to yet.
I'm
Can
Tallow.
I'm sorry, Towel? Towel?
Tal.
Towel. Okay,
Towel.
Towel.
Eric Tal. Okay, it's
Hey, Eric. Can you do the investigation a huge favor? Huge favor.
okay. Sure. What?
Can you run all the way back to the tavern and
Mhm.
request from the tavern owner a list of everyone that was in the tavern upon your earlier arrival?
Like when we were there?
Yeah, when we were there. Because anyone that was in the tavern when we were clearly not a suspect. And that was a lot of people.
Yeah, but not the whole city.
No, but anything helps. And it'll give you something to do, buddy. And I kind of pat him on the shoulder.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'd like to help.
Yeah, thank you.
Junior
you so
detective
much.
over here.
He runs out.
You're all right. Awesome.
Mhm.
Give him a job.
That was very kind of you.
Did that feel good? Do you feel good about yourself?
I'm sure that that guy, Eric, probably really needs to feel helpful. And yeah, I do feel good. You
I
know?
have
He's 15.
this is
Good
okay.
for him. Look at all the exercise he's getting.
This is a little unrelated to whatever you guys have going on. Can I say it?
Well, sure.
Are there any Are there any plants in this building?
Not really.
Are there any animals? Do I hear any mice?
Roll survival.
Okay. Okay. Gonna
You must
find
be
us a
the
witness,
animal.
guys.
Oh.
22.
Fuck me. You look around for any animals, and you see up in the corners of the roof is an old barn owl
Oh,
that's kind of just looking at you.
She will cast Speak with Animals.
Of fucking
first level.
course you would. Hold on.
I'm a druid! And she will start hooting.
incredible.
Hoot hoot, motherfucker.
Okay.
Whatever
Hello?
it has received within the past day.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Sir and or ma'am.
The owl looks down at you. Hello, yes. What? Who's there?
Hi.
Who goes there?
Did you hello, my name is Birdie.
You're not the birdie.
Ugh.
You're not the spider.
No, I'm both. So did you see this guy die?
The owl looks at the guy slung from the beam. I saw one human take their life.
Yeah, okay, yes. Could you tell me who did it? Like what did they look like? Or where did they go?
I saw two people come here. It was dark. I watched from up here. One
Uh-huh.
walked normal, quick steps, covered in cloth, a long wrap around the head, small person. The other limped, dragged one foot, wore a big cloak bigger than the first.
Mm-hmm.
Big cloak brought chains with them, tied the man up, cried a little. Then they cut him, no more shouting.
The one that did the cutting cried?
No.
The one who was cut did the crying.
Yes.
Okay, but so they walked in here together.
Yes.
And the limping one didn't they weren't dragging them or pushing them. They just walked in.
The owl turns its head Walked.
And did you see the limping one leave?
Yes.
Do you know which way they went?
Door?
Yes, but after the door.
I don't care.
Ugh. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Do you want some corn?
A fat mouse.
Well, I don't have a fat mouse on me. I have corn.
Hey, would I happen to have a mouse?
I don't know. Would you? Why would you? That's weird.
I'm a cat. I don't know. I don't know what tabaxi
You're really
is.
leaning into the fucking stereotypes here. Tabaxis eat
Meow.
people food.
Oh, okay. Mice aren't people food, so no. my bad.
Not typically, no.
Sorry.
How about jerky? Do you like jerky?
Okay. What is
Okay,
jerky?
she'll pull some. Well, you'll like it. It's meat. She'll hold
Meat.
it up to. Yeah.
That you all see the owl like whoo, and its wings like flutter out as it seems excited about something. This all has been very incomprehensible for everybody else.
She will lift it up so that he can come snatch it.
He does. He flies down and grabs it and then flies back up, like one claw holding the jerky while the other is pulling and chewing at it with his beak.
So he saw what happened. They walked in together. Like, isn't that weird?
So he let himself be murdered? Oh, sorry.
Well,
I don't know if he wanted. He cried apparently, so I don't think he wanted it to happen. But maybe he was like under mind control or something, like a spell.
Or
Okay.
it was someone who lived around here that he knew and trusted.
That's true. Maybe they're friends.
I don't know what kind of friends you guys have, but generally they don't
Well-
do this to each other.
Maybe he thought they were friends.
It does sound like it's somebody local. And it sounds like somebody who knows the fucking stories about the Silver Flame. Because they're aping
Yeah.
them.
Oh. Who would know about this man's human trafficking business? Is it common
That's
knowledge?
It's not confirmed, but there are rumors, which means they're about as true as they can get. We've heard reports come in to the constabulary, so if we hear them, odds are anybody in the know would have also heard them.
So wait, go ahead.
Is there anyone who has been reporting a lot more than normal? Maybe someone who reported the other victim as well for their illicit affairs?
This feels like vigilante justice. Like maybe they wouldn't rely on the cops.
We found the first one ourselves. No one spoke a word about it.
I think what she means is, were people like, or was someone reporting like the first guy who was killed for being a piece of shit, and maybe also this guy, but nothing was done about it, so they took matters into their own.
Nothing could be done about it. We didn't have any hard evidence.
I feel like, so you
But-
say both of these people matched the stories, right, of this Silver Flame person
Yeah.
in some way. Is there another one? Maybe we should be prepared for another victim if there's another story.
Maybe we'd best.
Maybe we'll beat them to it.
Maybe we'd best go to the archive. 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't
there's a
remember
picture
them
of
very
her.
well.
Someone said there's a picture of the Silver Flame in.
Yeah, Nasha.
Yeah.
Echo, can I ask a question that's kind of
Probably.
not super related to this? Is there currently someone living inside of my ring?
Living inside
of
of
what?
your what?
My ring.
Oh, nope.
No, it's empty?
It is
Okay.
empty.
Got it.
I can't tell if you're disappointed by that or not.
No, it just means I can live in there.
It's true. Yes, you can. Well,
Can I disguise myself really quick?
I don't know.
As a
I need some more
archivist?
details.
As
As
a-
an archivist, what does an archivist look like?
a nerd, somebody with glasses, big old book in their arm, maybe a
Khakis.
robe, khakis.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. You can put on khakis. You can take that disguise.
You know,
Pocket
All right.
protectors.
yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. All right. Yeah, I'm
As
gonna
you
try
put
to.
on this disguise, Trent just looks at you as, "What are you doing?"
Well, what if we need some information that they're not exactly forthcoming with? I gotta have an in.
The archive?
Yeah.
I guess.
Is this what they look like, by the way?
No.
I've never been there. Okay. You have any tips? More or less khaki?
They just wear regular
Or
clothes.
always more khaki.
Regular clothes. I don't know if I have any of those in here. As
I
a
think you
rifle
look
for my
dashing.
disguise kit. Yeah, I think we'll just stick with it for now. Thank you.
Okay.
Are we going to the archive?
Yeah, let's head that way, please. As you do eventually start making your way towards the Shrine of Echoed Names. Let me go ahead and set this up real quick. You'd think I would have been prepared for this.
Yeah. Half preparation, half improvs. Here's how D&D works.
As you enter the Shrine of Echoed Names, it is as true to Dren's word as she says, open 24 hours. Now, Tavira, you are in disguise, but the rest of your group is not. Do you go in alone, or do you all head into the Shrine of Echoed Names?
Can I try to sneak in?
There's only one door, but you can try and find another way in if you'd like.
Yeah.
I'm sure no one will notice because I am a walking one-man band.
Jomo and Birdie, sneaking in is not really an option for the two of you.
I got that one, so count me out.
So your investigation, you roll an at one, so you look at the building and you look at the door. That's the way in.
I'm gonna lie to this guy so hard.
Okay.
Hey, Evan. I'm just ready for it.
Hi, Evan?
Who's Evan?
I don't know. You just said Evan.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. I'm gonna lie to. I'm
Oh, okay.
on duty. My bad.
No worries. So I'm going to just assume, as Dren is going up to the archive, you just go in.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry the efforts to be subtle have fallen by the wayside a little bit.
Nah.
As you guys enter... Oh, by the way, Selfie, at this point, it was like a 20-minute walk here. Roll me a con save at advantage.
Yeah. I actually did earlier, and I rolled a 15, but I can roll again for advantage.
Just
So
roll
15 still
one more
higher.
time. Yes.
Yeah, so +2, it's 17.
You are no longer drunk. You are just mildly tipsy.
Yes.
Right.
You see that there is a young woman who is seated at the counter immediately inside the archive. And as you enter, she looks up and she says, "Oh, good evening. Hello. You're all here awful late."
Hi.
Yeah, we're sorry to bother a pretty thing like you. And she kind of goes up to the desk.
I'm not you're attractive. Sure.
We were wondering if maybe you could help us find out some information about your town's very famous folklore, the lady with the red cloak and the Flame Society.
Sorry, let me start over. I can see if the head archivist is in, or I can just show you around. Either way is fine.
Well, you can show me around any way you like.
Selfie? I think we're doing
Oh.
something here.
Oh, you're right.
Maybe
Yeah,
after,
'cause you-
maybe after we're cleared, you can do whatever this is.
you
I
just
don't
please
wanna
see if the head
presume.
Arcticus is in.
Sure. Just wait a minute. And she goes down the hallway. And then it's just a moment that she comes back with an older fellow who looks like middle-aged human. And as he approaches, he
It's fucking you, bro.
I was about to say, is that you?
It's literally him. Look at his little face.
the head archivist looks up all of you and he says, "Oh, Sergeant Dren, good evening. To what do I owe the late night pleasure?" And Dren says, "Murder." "Oh, good.
Cheery.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Head Archivist Fleming. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about murder, or that could help with a murder. How can I help with a murder?"
Jomo drops his backpack down on the ground and says, "We need everything you got on the Silver Flame."
Goodness gracious, did you have a whole kitchen in that bag?
A little
No,
bit,
but
yeah.
we have someone who has a kitchen in her bag.
I do. I really do. We need something. I have
Was that an innuendo?
I
don't-
no.
I don't believe so.
It's innuendo, ma'am.
Oh! And she, just pointedly turns and walks out of the room.
That's valid. Yeah, it was embarrassing for you. Okay, let's focus in.
Aw, but she's so cute.
Heavens.
Damn.
So, the Silver Flame. Yes. Follow me. And he leads you down the narrow hallways of the archive. And immediately he, stops by some old shelves and he points to a painting on the wall, which I am linking in the Discord. That is Naja, the Silver Flame, the legendary hero of Redreach, many years ago. Some say centuries, some say decades. No one is quite sure, really. Word of mouth and oral tradition does not translate super well to actual written documentation, but we do our best with what we have. Right. So the legends of Naja, the Silver Flame, are, well, complex, but they go as follows. And he, opens up several, tomes that he's, pulling out to different sections. Typically there are 4 legends that she's most famous for. The first one is the Oasis Pact. The first recorded version is older than the Redreach itself, they say, or at least older than these walls. A merchant once came to Redreach in a dry year when the Twin Forks ran thin. He bought up cisterns and well rights and then bled the poor for coin to drink. Naja, or the woman we call Naja, found him in the market square, made him stand before the people with a jug in his hands, and she smashed every barrel he owned, and let that water sink back into the dust. Personally, I believe it might have been better off that she had provided that water to the very people he was trying to swindle, but that is just my opinion as a humble archivist. Then, they say, she forced him to drink straight from the reach, like any beast. For a season, he cupped it with his hands while others watched. Some say he fled in shame, while others say she slit his throat and let him drain back to the same river he'd stolen from. Scribes disagree. I suspect, with the brutality of things back in the day, the latter is more likely the case. The second legend of Naja was the broken chain. This is the bloodiest. Tale says a slaver caravan rolled into Redreach in its early years under false banners. They hid the shackles beneath bolts of silk. But Naja saw through them. They say she freed the chained in the dead of night, and then burned the wagons in the shallows of the river. She left the slavers alive, just long enough to drag them, shackled, to the old shrine bell, and melted their manacles down in the forge, recasting them into a new bell that was rung each time someone lied about slavers after that. They say the last man hung from the bell's yoke until the wind picked his bones clean. A sort of unique justice back in the day. The third legend, the duel at Red Dagger Rock, on the outskirts. That is a high cliff point above Redreach, actually, south side. The duel is the easiest to twist. A sellsword from the east, the old records, the old records called him a Kayan mercenary. Claimed he owned the Reach by right of steel. He threatened tolls on the roads out to the dunes. A man with a blade and no soul to spend. Naja met him at Red Dagger Rock. Before dawn, they say. She made him draw steel, but let him swing first. When he struck, she caught the sun on her blade and took his head in one pass. She left his sword driven into the stone for all to see. No one ever found it again, but the rock is still there. 1,000 men since have posed as him. Not one lasted past dawn. At least so the legend says. I don't think that part is actually true, or we would have a whole lot more graves out there than we actually do. And finally, the last legend. The Moonveil Prophecy. This last tale isn't really a deed, more of a rumor. The old faiths say that the Silver Flame was never just one woman. When the desert got too cruel, when the Reach ran red, someone would wear the moon veil again. An unbroken line of guardians. Some say there is a hidden shrine out in the dunes, a place where they left offerings. Old blades, scraps of crimson cloth, oaths never spoken aloud. But you won't find that on any map. Plenty have gone looking, and all they found was sand. Some say the veil's burned so many times the wind won't carry its ashes anymore, but I assume, as an archivist, that is just poetic justice. These stories get told and retold every time the city needs to believe it can save itself. But Redreach has stood for centuries, and I imagine it will stand for centuries more. The coasters do a fine enough job managing the city as it is. And really, I believe the Silver Flame is just a story for, well, peasants.
Well, if we follow the patterns of the murders so far, that means our third one is going to be at that rock. And how long do we have until dawn?
At this point, about 3 hours.
Well, so it took place at the rock in the story, but like the other two people who are recently dead, they weren't in like any specific place. Like this guy was supposed to be well, the bell was there, but it was brought to him, you know? So it might not
Yeah.
necessarily happen there, but we should follow who the story indicates will die and try to figure out the shittiest person currently that might fit that profile. So she looks at Dren. Who is the shittiest person you know that fits that profile?
Of a scummy sellsword from KO?
I guess.
You?
Is there any?
Wow.
I'm not from KO.
Yeah, but you're the only sellswords in town right now. At least as far as I know.
Not really a sellsword. I'm a cook
What about
who
Jumo?
sometimes has to fight. Oh, that's true. Are you a shitty sellsword?
I'm more of a gladiator entertainer type.
You have spent a lot of time challenging strangers to duels.
Jumo, have you ever killed anyone in these duels?
No.
Oh, okay.
Inside check.
Yeah, insight check.
Yeah,
Dren is
yeah, hold
also
on.
in checking you.
12. That's not very good.
Let me get a numbers. Okay, 25.
That's pretty good.
All right, Jomo, spill the beans. Not to Dren, because Dren rolled an 8. But roll a persuasion or deception, whichever is applicable. You can roll it as a private roll if you like.
Beans.
Not bad.
Tavira.
Jomo will beat you bloody, but he won't
It's not
kill
how
you.
to kill you.
Hmm.
Can I roll for how likely it is that I've committed assassin level atrocities given who my god is?
Knowing your religion, you have.
Oh, yeah.
So she's a cleric. Does she have a visible symbol? What's that?
Yeah, you should.
Is it a part of my
I have a
40,
holy symbol.
the 43?
Let's get another roll me 5 out of 43.
Okay. So I would just do...
Now, I will say it is a more obscure god than Ana.
Do I
since-
recognize it?
Roll a religion.
Oh, never mind. That doesn't make sense. That's
Yeah, you
not what I
just
meant
that
to
is a
do.
43. You have
Yeah, I did
typed
that wrong.
43, and there it is.
I have done that. Yeah.
No, I rolled a 10. I probably have no idea.
You don't know. You don't know who it is.
R
What does it look like?
T 43.
We will get there in a moment.
13.
13. No, I'm afraid not.
Okay. All right. Worth a shot.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. The symbol on well, how are you wearing the symbol, Selfie? Is it an amulet? Is it like a piece on your armor? Is it a badge? What is it?
I know I have one. It's just something in my pouch. So it's like a little like metal like token in my pouch.
Okay. You would have used this when you cast Detect Magic. So the party has seen it. It is
But none of us fucking know what it is.
You don't know what it is. The symbol appears to be a round symbol that is just like half of a mask split down the middle.
All right. Cool. That's a pretty cool symbol for a god.
Have any of them seen my tattoo or no?
That's up to you.
No, that shit's hidden.
Then no. Unless you get naked, then probably not.
Naked. No
So,
one's gotten that far yet.
So, Dren,
Yeah.
where is the place that sellswords might be, most likely? Or are there any reports of one behaving pretty shittily
Shittily.
recently?
If you're looking for mercenaries, they're always taking work out in Light Hook.
We might be able to find, maybe they'll be in the act. If we go there and look around to see if we can find any.
Is there any well-known mercenaries that have been able to evade capture that might be on your radar?
Mercenaries are not illegal.
Oh, no.
So we haven't really been out. They've been taking bounties and signing them in at the city hall.
Cool. I think Light Hook seems like at least the region.
Yeah,
this
it's
will
out.
occur.
It's outside the city walls on the south side. I'll show you.
Are we allowed to leave the city?
If I'm with you.
No. Okay.
Well, we also, before we commit to the Light Hook plan, we haven't seen the Temple of Ana.
That's true.
We could look there
True.
first to see if we just notice anyone who's limping.
Either way.
Because we have a couple hours till dawn, and that's when the next murder should be, right?
How far away is Light Hook?
From here, 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, we got time. Wait, how far away is the temple? I didn't even...
It's like 10 minutes away from here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we have time. We have time.
You guys head out of the Shrine of Echoed Names. Can I get the passive perceptions, everybody, please?
Oh my god, I get it. Echoed names, and you're the archivist. I love you.
16.
That's so fucking cute. 18 is my perception.
16.
That was not on purpose. And also,
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
But it was funny.
16 is the passive. Okay. And Birdie, what's yours? 18.
18.
Okay.
12.
Tavira, what's your passive?
16 as well.
Okay. You guys head out of the Shrine of Echoed Names, out into the actual city proper once more.
Can I shed my disguise?
Yeah.
I feel ridiculous.
Can't be a nerd for any longer.
I can't bear this shame. You know, they seem pretty forthcoming. I didn't feel...
It's an archive. That's their job.
I guess. I don't know. You can't trust strangers.
You're right.
Who raised you?
Dren looks at you
Who raised you?
minotaurs.
That's so cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
She just begins leading the
Wait,
way
wait.
towards the temple.
Wait, she's a human being who was raised by story there. If
It's
only I
called
liked this
adoption.
person enough to ask. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Sure.
So grumpy.
Yes, she is grumpy. She's a 40-year-old woman who has to lug around a bunch of people that she thinks might be murderers that have...
But listen,
I don't know why. We've done
Yeah, you
nothing
know.
wrong.
It's clearly.
listen. I might be a murderer, but not in this context.
I'm not going to justify Sergeant Dren's exasperation with you guys. I don't
okay.
think I need to. As you guys are making your way towards the Temple of Purifying Flame.
Cool. Such a cool name.
The Temple of
I bet
Ana.
these,
Huh?
I bet these people are pretty hardcore.
Metal, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's pretty intense.
The Temple of Ana, as you're approaching, is not huge. It is an enormous wooden affair that appears as though every bit of it is made of wood that has been burnt to a cinder. Lacquered and shining in the twilight. It is beautiful on the approach with a mosaic of the symbol of Ana set into the gabled roof just above the large doors. The doors are shut. It is like 2 a.m. And while the rest of the actual primary city center had business out here, it is quiet. You don't see a whole lot of activity out here.
Can I try to sneak in instead of just going through the main entrance?
Yeah, are there windows?
There are
at the
windows.
top?
You can try to sneak in.
Can I acro check my way up there?
Climbing is an athletics check.
That's an oh okay. Can I grapple shot my way up there?
Yeah, you can just do that. Yes, you can do
Okay.
that. First and foremost, Selfie, you're trying to sneak in.
17. That's with my modifier, by the way.
Is that stealth?
Can I help them
Yeah.
sneak in by making by slamming the front doors open?
Oh my.
Yeah, you can do that, I guess.
Awesome. That's so cool. I love that.
As you slam the doors open, as Navira, Jesus fucking Christ!
You got this, dude. Nah, it's all good. There's an apostrophe in my name. I get it. That's my bad.
It'd be worse if the apostrophe was
So
pronounced.
too.
Tavira.
Yeah.
What does it look like when you springlash grapple up to the window?
I guess for other people, it would seem as though I extend my palm out towards a surface and press my middle and ring finger to my palm, and from under my sleeve, a sharp and very shiny grappling hook kind of darts out from under my sleeve and jabs into the wall. And there's
So all of
line
you,
goes taut very quickly.
you all hear this all as this grappling hook snaps
Oh my.
into the stone wall.
And it kind of yanks me up there.
All the way up. Tavira is pulled quickly 50 feet all the way up to the window. It's not actually 50 feet high. It's more like 25 feet up, but the winch handles it no problem, and you can see into the window that is a mosaic. The stained glass reveals that inside, looking through the stained glass window, which Jomo's about to see with both eyes clearly, is a massive black statue of a woman that is completely engulfed in flame.
That's pretty cool.
It towers 15 feet high in the far side inside this building, but you don't see any smoke billowing off of it looking through the mosaic. Light flickers in all corners inside the temple, and with that stealth selfie, you quietly sneak around to a side door and you creep into it, quiet as a mouse, when both doors are knocked loudly open, and Birdie, Dren, And Jomo, you are standing outside the double doors of the Temple of Ana, which are now wide open. They were not locked. A number of what looked like paladins
Cool.
that were like not like on duty. It's the middle of the fucking night. They're wearing like they're missing their helmets. They have their armor on, and their armor is ebony in color. It's solid black with rivulets of gold that runs through them.
Fire.
One of them is like sweeping. The other one is like cleaning up a table that has all sorts of food on it, and they both whip around like in surprise as the table slams open. And bustling from the far side is the small, slight, little elven woman with black hair, and she says, "What is the meaning of this? Is somebody hurt? Why are you blasting into the temple at all hours of the night? What on earth? What in the nine hells? What could Na possibly do for someone so late at night when clearly no one is injured? There is no emergent bells out in the middle of town. What is wrong with you?" As she is like surging
Sorry.
across the temple floor. All of you see that.
Do I see anything from my point of view that seems suspicious?
What define suspicious?
Like any of the paladins or monks or just anyone trying to hurriedly finish a task or hide something from the unannounced visitors.
Roll an
Late at
insight
night.
check.
Okay. Click. Please. 16. It's not bad.
You see genuine surprise on everyone. The one who was like picking up food from a table, like the slam of the doors startled him so bad that he like the plate of food that he was picking up like flies out of his hands and is clattering across the floor. The one who was sweeping like has raised the broom like it's a weapon.
That's adorable.
The people that are actually like there are people on the benches in the temple. The benches have been pushed to the side. There's no service or sermon right now, and it looks like there are people that are actually like sleeping on the benches, and all of them look like they're using it like a hospice, basically. As
We
the
are
temple
back.
has been slammed open, you do not see anyone suspicious, just a bunch of people startled and scared that the doors have been brutally slammed open in the middle of the night.
Okay. Cool. Sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna make my way off the roof. I feel like I don't need to be here anymore.
Okay.
Um,
I need to know, Jomo, as this angry priest is like charging towards you, what do you do?
Jomo, unashamed, just says, "Tell me of your cripples."
wow.
Why would I tell you anything about the personal problems of people that are coming here for healing and treatment? Who are you?
Should not recognize Dren.
I just look at Dren and wait for her to.
Dren is like standing to the side and just like clearly has a headache as she is holding her forehead. Vena, they're with me. And I'm sorry. I didn't know he was going to do that.
I don't think even he knew he was going to do that until he did it.
I love you, Mo.
Selfie, in this moment, as the priest who has been identified as Vena, what are you doing? As you have successfully snuck in. They don't know you're there. They are clearly occupied with the noise at the front doors. You're at a side door.
Yeah, can I try to sneak to see if I can find an infirmary or wherever they might keep injured people?
Roll a perception check. We're running with the same stealth that you rolled before.
Natural 20 plus 3.
You do see that so there are these long black curtains that seem to isolate the burning woman in the middle of the temple. Behind those curtains, you find there are a number of doors. One of them is labeled tending. You open that door and you peek in and you see that there are a number of cots that look like they are there for healing. Roll me a d4, please.
3.
There are 4 cots in this infirmary. There are 3 individuals in the infirmary. One of them is like stirring at the noise that's going on. One of them is clearly completely unconscious. One of them is already awake. And as you open the door, I need you to roll me another stealth check. Because now you have opened a door in a well-lit room that there are people that can potentially see you.
10.
Sorry.
So, like, you open the door, and you realize someone's, like, looking at you, and you just, whoa, like, you Skyrim duck. And the guy just says, hello?
Must have been the wind.
It must have been the wind.
Can I help? Is Vina coming back?
Yeah. I think she's just dealing with some, like, visitors at the front. But
Okay, I've had some nightmares. Could you ask for some dream leaf?
for sure, I will get right on that. If you don't mind, maybe I could chat with you for a sec. Maybe it'll help alleviate your nightmares.
I guess, can you do anything for favor? And, like, his face is pale. Like, it's clear he is having a terrible time. But you can roll a medicine check to see if you understand what he's dealing with.
I have cure wounds. I'll roll a medicine check. 19 plus 3, 22.
With a 22, cure wounds ain't gonna do shit for a fever. You need, like, restoration magic.
I don't want to use Revivify on this man.
He ain't dead, which is
Jesus.
what Revivify would be for.
Well, you gotta kill him first, and then
Yeah, that would do
he'll
it.
be fully healed.
But with a medicine check of 22, you immediately tell this guy has a plague. He's dealing with a terrible illness that it seems like the magic available is either not enough or he's currently, like, in the process of being healed. You don't know the means by which Ana tends to people, so you cannot, like, you would be assuming. Because you're not proficient in medicine.
I can pray to my god to help with some healing.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
that would be great if you could.
for sure, I take out my Okay, I feel like this guy, he just needs some, like, I think he just needs some hope.
Wait, so are you actually going to pray to your god about this guy?
Yes, but I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I'm gonna use, I don't know how to pronounce this. It's
Thaumaturgy.
Thaumaturgy.
Yes.
I am going to do some let's see. What do I want to do? I'm gonna do a phantom sound. So I'm gonna take my holy symbol out. I'm gonna pray, right? And be like, God, that's totally a healing God. Please bless this man and his aid. And then I'm gonna cast
I need
the
to
one
know.
I can't.
I need to also know, like, is this a real prayer you're sending out? Like, are you...
It's like I'm praying to my God, because I probably should do that, but I haven't done it today. But it's like, I know that he can't really do anything about it.
Roll a wisdom plus proficiency check.
Who's calling me? Stop calling me. Okay, sorry.
It's your god. You fucking reached
It's
out to him first.
wow! Oh my god!
It's like, well, you ignored me?
I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5.
I don't know what my modifiers are.
So your wisdom modifier plus proficiency. Your wisdom is +3, and proficiency is,
Okay.
I think, another +3. So it's that roll plus 6.
So 11.
An 11. You are in a temple, but it is not a temple to your god. So you do feel the familiar presence, but there is no acknowledgement of what you're requesting.
Can I do a phantom sound that's just like, it should sound just like sparkles, or like glitter. Do you get the vibes I mean?
Like chimes, basically, just like shh.
Yeah, like chimes,
Okay.
like twinkles. Just kind of like a light sound, like kind of by his bed, kind of just give him hope.
Oh, there's much less flame this time. Oh, okay. That's a relief. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
With that 22 in medicine check, you do a quick like surmisation of the people in this infirmary. One of them, the one that's unconscious, has like a head wound, and like you don't think that would cause a limp at all. And the one who is stirring, their arm is in a splint. Also, not likely to cause a limp.
Okay. So it's probably none of these people. I'm gonna sneak back out and say, I'll let her know that you need your dream medicine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Get better soon, buddy.
What a strange drow. As you return to the temple proper, like still sneaking, you see this priest who is currently confronting Jomo and all them. Which, meanwhile, Jomo, Dren, who is next to you, and Birdie, who is behind you, you're all kind of just getting reamed out by this priestess. Like, how dare you disturb the peace of the temple in the middle of the night? Who raised you? Just like what fools you have been, basically.
Dren's getting asked that question a lot tonight.
Yeah. Oh, she's not yelling at Dren. She's yelling at Jomo exclusively. Because it's clear that Jomo kicked the door open. But all of you will catch... I'm sorry, not all of you. Birdie, you do catch sight of Selfie, like, sneak out from behind one of the black curtains in the back of the temple towards the side door.
Hey, girl, how's it going? And why are they?
Who are you? How did you get in here?
Oh, I'm just a fellow cleric, and I thought that I would take it upon me to go and check on your patients. One of them needs some dream medicine, but like he's feeling a little better.
Fellow cleric? I don't know you. Who are you a cleric of?
You know, I'm just an obscure god. Like, you wouldn't know of them, you know. I'm just from a small
Goes to a different
town.
school.
Yes, to a different school.
This priest seems like she has no tolerance for bullshittery at the moment. And she looks at you and she says, "You were inspecting my patients, and you are trying my patience."
Oh, I'm sorry. See,
If anything is amiss in my infirmary, I am going to immolate you from the inside out.
Wow.
That's totally fair, ma'am. I promise I did no harm. You could barely tell that I was even there.
She looks at Dren and then back at you. You had best hope that is the case. And she goes directly to the infirmary. Dren looks at you and she
We
says,
should leave.
What are you doing? What did you do?
Really took the heat off Jomo.
I just prayed for one of her patients, and I just cracked a few jokes. Okay, they're feeling a lot better. I don't know why everyone thinks I'm a criminal. It's not like I'm a dark elf or anything.
Dark elves aren't criminals.
Exactly. So they should stop treating us like we are.
But you're investigating because you're on such a suspicion of being a criminal.
Well,
It has nothing to do with you being a dark elf.
Oh no, she's playing the race card.
You know, it kind of feels that way.
Great.
I also get people who look at me and I don't understand why.
See, you are judging all of us based on our physical appearance. Maybe, except for Jomo. He seems to have reason for suspicion.
And
So this whole, like, you see the priestess, like, comes flying out from behind the curtain and just looks, like, angry, but not on a warpath. And as she approaches, she says, "Fine. Why are you all here at 3 in the morning?"
I'm still on the roof.
No, you said you climbed down, so you have now, like, this is the moment where you have, like, stepped down off the wall.
Oh, great, another one.
We're looking.
He speaks.
Um,
Sam, if you were finishing a thought, it cut out. Uh-oh.
oh no. His internet's been having some issues. Do you want me to give him a? Oh, yeah.
He just
did
disconnected
leave,
from the foundry.
Ah, heck.
I'm gonna give him a phone call real quick if that's.
Yeah, go ahead. We can pause real quick.
Sorry, guys. I'll try.
All right. We are back. However, we're going to continue this session another day. So there will be a second episode to the Redreach investigation adventure. Before we go, however, we must give our players an opportunity to vote on something that they liked that happened during the session. We're going to start at the top of the order with Pen. Pen,
Oh,
who
hey,
did something
that's
that you liked?
Everybody did something I liked, but if I had to pick, I would give it. This made me laugh pretty hard, even though I was muted. It was right at the beginning when Jomo was introduced and was being interrogated by the lead guard and was like implying that he had the capacity to have committed this murder. And Jomo was so ready to brag about his strength that he was like unintentionally implicating himself in potentially being able or willing to commit this murder. And I respect that he cared more about how people perceived him than his ability to walk as a free man.
Okay, so the first vote goes to Slambone. Next, Raven, who did something that you liked?
I'm gonna vote for Birdie when
Oh, does
she was worried about her crock pot as we were getting our item. Because that is very valuable and I love stew.
It's a Le Creuset. Those are expensive.
Okay, a vote for Pen. Next, Red, who did something that you liked?
I think I'm gonna give my vote also to Jumo. In his Pied Piper-esque luring of a small, scared urchin boy. Just luring him to safety with his drum playing. It was pretty silly and also pretty way more effective.
Rolled a really well high performance check. I was like, okay, I guess it works.
It was beautiful.
Okay, another vote for Slambone, which means Sam. Last but not least, who did something that you liked?
I liked how Selfie ingratiated herself to the drunken patrons.
Yes, that was great. Hey, you didn't invite me to sit here, but I'm gonna.
Okay, the votes are in, which means Sam, Slambone, you have earned the player's vote for inspiration, which means you have another inspiration point that you can spend on a reroll or to change the narrative, to bump a die, to do all sorts of beautiful things. And as we come to the end of the session, I want to thank you all for playing with me tonight, and to those of you who are at home or at work watching, hi Pen, hi class, hi Emily, hi everybody else, we love you all, and I wish you a good night.